Yeah, I really only watch baseball, honestly.
Yeah, I still haven't even watched baseball yet, man. I've been wanting to, but just haven't got into it. Got back into it.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I watch in terms of sports at the moment.
Yeah, and then since I can't watch uh MLS live, I just catch the highlights on
Yeah,
YouTube.
I know. The paywall behind Apple, I was just like, I'm all right.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. We're not even paying for our Apple, or maybe we are because it's through T-Mobile, maybe. But either way, to pay extra for that,
Yeah, I know. It's like you're already paying like whatever it is for Apple, and then you have to pay. I mean, it's just like if you were to do like YouTube TV with the Sunday football package or whatever.
yeah.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Real Talk with ZTS, where we, as brothers, search for ways to share our voices while having a good time just talking, having those real talk conversations, our shared experiences, and reacting to random topics and articles. As we always say, we all have something to share, and we look forward to sharing and building that community of stories that we can all relate to. Now, enjoy the episode. So
On
they get you,
YouTube,
man.
and that's how they do it, dude. On YouTube TV right now, they're playing the 1972 NBA All-Star game, dude.
What?
Yeah, they're literally streaming the 1972 NBA All-Star game right now.
That's
I
funny.
just saw it. I'm clicking on watching it. Let's see. Man, there's not even a three-point line. Havlicek is on there.
That's funny.
Jerry West. Okay. Yeah, that shit's boring.
Yeah, I
Just
was
put
gonna
the
say I
dogs.
don't know how the All-Star games were back then.
I like literally, dude. It's just like inbound the ball, chuck it down across the court, and
Yeah.
hoping another player catches it. That's literally what I saw in the last 30 seconds. Like some guy, yeah, would just catch the ball, steal the ball, and just chuck it down court. Like that was their version of All Star game.
That's funny.
How you guys been? How's uh how's the transition overall now? You guys feel like home already in California?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Like you guys still feel like on a long vacation?
in a way, I think we've slowly started getting more acclimated.
Yeah.
Because Allie just had to get her plates.
Oh, like China wear.
No, 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 her car license.
Oh, for a car. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
So now
thought
she
you're talking about
has
like
she
more
has
home
California.
stuff.
No, she has California
Um,
plates now.
does anyone even say China wear anymore? Like that's such like a parent, our parents and
No,
grandparents thing to
yeah,
say.
I don't say China.
Yeah, getting the good China wear.
Yeah, get the good
Um,
China out the cabinet.
yeah, got to get the good Oriental rug. No, I see. Dang, it took a long time. Isn't that
Technically,
like by
technically,
law you have to like get it within I don't know
like three.
couple of months of your residency?
They it's like 3 weeks.
Yeah, and then she's
Um, technically.
yeah.
Nah, but but there's so many cars down here, and I think because we also live by the base, it's like base usually has an exception.
Gotcha.
And Dustin, I think, said that in the previous episode too, where he had plates that were he didn't change them for like 3 years or something.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's one of those things where it's like it's kind of at that point, starting
Yeah.
to feel more and more because now she has California plates. I technically still have Washington plates.
Oh.
However, mine is a little bit different. Because my car technically I co-own my car.
Oh, so that means you can keep the other license plate from the other
Tec-
owner in
technically,
Washington.
technically,
Yeah.
yeah. Because when I bought it, I registered the car um in Washington, and my
Yeah.
dad was a co-signer on it.
Yeah.
So because the home address is in Washington and he co-signed on it, technically, I can't even get the California license plates without him signing off on everything and him transferring the title completely, which he wouldn't mind doing.
Yeah. What's
Um,
why didn't Allie just like keep her vehicle registration address like to her parents or something?
but it was one of those like her parents wanted it off of their, you know how white people are, right?
Yeah. I'm
Cut.
ashamed of you marrying a half Japanese guy.
No, no, no.
We're cutting you off.
As soon as they move out, they're like, no,
Yeah,
it's like, no, we're gonna cut you off. Like
completely.
we're just paying all this extra insurance and we're paying more on the phone bill. I'm like, you realize having me on the phone bill actually lowers your phone bill, right? Because there's a
Yeah,
package deal. They're like, I don't
yeah,
care. You need to be responsible for yourself. And I'm like, it's just funny because it's like, oh, yep, that is we
yeah,
joke about it. That's a you people thing.
yeah, yeah. Cause like, yeah, my parents, I'm still on my parents' family phone line,
Yeah, same.
and so, yeah, and that's the only thing like they pay for, and I'm like, shoot, I'm not gonna remind them to for me to chip in because I haven't had it since like a teenager, so
Oh yeah, same,
the only time
same.
I chip in is when I upgrade on a phone because I'm like, okay, you
Yeah, I
know,
should. Yeah,
it
that's my.
increases your bill.
I know. Hey, I
Yeah,
get it. No, I mean I pay
yeah,
for it straight up. I'm like, hey, here's my weekly or weekly monthly contribution.
yeah. Jeez, man. Well, yeah. What so like do they ever like how does that work? I mean, obviously I've never moved out of state. Like do they track you down at some point or like for you, right? Or um let's say you didn't co-sign the car, but you
Hmm.
just kept the registration at your parents' house
Yeah,
in Washington. Like how do they know I'm guessing the only time they know if you don't live there anymore if you stop paying your tabs because um you're not answering the mails or something like that.
yeah.
But then again, you could like just set a reminder on your phone to just log in every year to pay your tabs. You know what I
Oh yeah,
mean?
yeah. Well, I
Oh well,
mean,
I guess you need the tabs.
yeah.
But
Well, I was gonna
yeah,
say like if I buy my tabs in Washington or something, like
yeah,
there's no way for me to get them unless I go up there or someone ships them to me. Because if I'm like, oh hey, could you Washington Department of Transportation, could you send me my tabs in California? Thanks. They'd be like, why?
yeah,
Like that would be how they like catch me per se.
yeah,
Um, and even if I got pulled over down here, technically I'd be like, oh, I work all up and down the coast, so like I'm here often enough to where I just drive up and down the coast. My permanent address is in Washington, and that's where the vehicle's registered to.
yeah,
So I have an easy out. Plus, like if they looked at the title, they would see both of my name and my dad's name. And if they look up my
yeah,
dad in the system, the card's tied to Washington. So like,
yeah, yeah.
so that I have an easier out than she does.
but but Allie can't get out of it. I
No,
mean, again, she could pull the you people card, and they'll be like, oh yeah, yeah, common mistake.
yeah, right.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, and that's the thing. It's like there's no way for them to track all of
yeah,
that or keep that. I mean, I guess if you get pulled over and they put it on the record and they pull you over 3 months later,
yeah, yeah.
and they're like, "Hey,
I
you still don't have." I'm like, "I told you what I do for work. I travel up and down the coast, man."
Yeah, yeah. I think that would be the only legitimate reasons if you get pulled over,
Oh yeah,
or
yeah.
yeah, because then the cop can legitimately be like, yeah, no, you need to upgrade these tabs because you're living here.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, if they tell me to like, oh, I need to, I'm like, well, in order for me to do that, this is the series of things that I have to do. Like, because
Yeah,
technically, like, yeah, I would have to go to Washington. I would have to get a sign off on all of the stuff up there. have the title transferred over, and then I would have to bring the new title down,
Yeah,
which
makes sense.
I can do, but
Yeah.
um,
Well, yeah, that was a good intro. I'd never really considered. I always hear people when they move out of state or they move from out of state to this state, like they always talk about, yeah, I gotta go to the DMV, whatever, or DOL, and gotta get my tabs updated. And I'm like, I just accepted it. Never really understood like the
yeah,
reason to.
there's a whole process. Technically, I'm supposed
Yeah,
to, you're supposed to get an ID within like 30 days. You're supposed to update your
yeah,
car within, I think it's 3 weeks. Even could even be two, honestly. Because I was looking at all that stuff when I first moved down here too.
yeah,
But I think because there's a tie to Washington still in all of my stuff.
yeah,
Technically, my permanent address and title and all that stuff. I would have to go back up to do all that stuff. So
yeah. Crazy. Well, looks like Gerald's not making it on tonight. He said he texted you.
yeah. He
Uh,
just texted me and said
okay.
he forgot what
Yeah,
time it was.
it's all good. But
He's working. So
yeah. So let's jump into our. I got a couple articles. There's a few that I wanted to save, but I'll save it for Dustin again. I don't think the articles, the content, whatever, truly expire. We missed Dustin on this episode, on these episodes so far, but just life, happens. We'll have him on eventually, and I'll save these other two articles for him, and then these other three.
I feel like we say this every week.
No, we do.
I'm kidding.
We do.
I mean,
Every damn week.
it's
Yeah.
true. It's true though.
Yeah. Next week is just gonna be like, fuck you, Dustin. We're done having
He
you
gets
on. Yeah.
Well. Look who decided to show
Yeah.
up.
Look who decided to make time for once and not. Yeah. Seriously, you're a family man, huh? Taking care of your family instead of us? Like, what's going on? No, just kidding.
I thought we were your family.
Yeah. But hey, check this out. So here's an article that I found. Definitely you and I can relate to this. This is definitely something Dustin would probably not relate to. But so in the first quarter of 2024, so early this year, first 3 months of this year, this company, so it's a clothing company. I want to hear if you can guess what it is. This clothing company had the first ever in their entire career, strongest first ever earnings ever this year in 2024. And then a part of that is because like they started like buying like little sub companies. They started making more like affordable wedding collections. They had cheaper like cotton and transportation costs and they actually had a rebirth recently in 2020. And for the first time ever, they had like one of the strongest first quarter earnings ever over a lot of other clothing companies. What company is this? You know what it is, but you'll also be surprised that this company is like thriving again.
Oh, you said thriving again. Okay. And it's just clothing? Like that's what they do?
I mean, I don't know too
majority?
much about it. I mean, but if you say the name,
It's
if
not
you
going to
hear
be
the
like
name,
it's not Nike where it's all sports and footwear and all that stuff.
no,
Okay.
specifically clothing. For all I know,
Specifically clothing.
yeah, I don't know if they sell cocaine on the side and stuff. I
Yeah,
don't know,
that
but
could be thriving
yeah,
again.
yeah.
I gotta think that this is a
One guess, and then I'll
clothing.
tell you.
I was gonna say it has to be a clothing store in like the mall.
I'm gonna let you keep talking.
That accurate? The
I can't give you
mall
any
is
more
like
clues.
no
Yeah.
more clues. All right. I
Yeah, no more
mean,
clues.
I have to imagine it's a mall thing. And you said thriving again. So that really just makes me think as a millennial, not the, no show socks are too old now and we have to wear crew socks again.
Yeah, I don't understand that. We'll talk about that after.
Yeah.
But-
Anyways.
yeah.
Anyways, I would say that as a millennial thinking back to brands that have died off versus the ones that are still around, and I'm like, how the hell are you still around? No, I'm just kidding. I'd have to say this is either Aeropostale or Abercrombie and Fitch, because those are the only two that I could think of that would still be like come back as thriving, unless it's like Champion, because they did make a strong comeback. randomly.
I don't know. Okay. So since you kind of made three guesses, I'm gonna reveal the answer. But let me answer that champion one though. Champion, I think culturally came back. I don't know if they thrived in terms of profits. Like
Yeah, no,
they
that's
partner
true.
with Costco
I would
and
say
all that
that
stuff.
I say they would. I have to see the numbers. I would say that
Yeah,
they
true,
did
true.
thrive a little bit
Yeah,
because of just how much they came back into the scene. Like, wow, champion. That's and because like obviously,
yeah, yeah.
like that's just one of the brands, right?
Right, right.
That was like, oh my god, like, huh. What was the other one? Was it not? If it's not, it wasn't champion. It was what was the other one that kind of made like a stronger comeback?
Fubu.
Um,
No, I'm just kidding. Not
Fubu.
Fubu.
No, I will say like Fila came back strong all of a sudden
Fila, yeah.
with just
That
shoes
one's not
though.
ringing a bell to me too much.
If you
Um,
saw the shoes, you'd probably understand and like, oh, these came back. A
yeah,
lot of like the classic stuff I would say came back. I mean, I say classic, but like like Adidas Superstars, those came back for a hot minute last year.
yeah. Well,
Um,
Adidas, you gotta say, was probably personally for me. I'm not a big shoe head, right?
yeah,
But I used to rock Nikes all the time, which I hate Nike now. But like the Air Forces, all that stuff. Back in the day when I cared more about like the shoes and stuff and like going to Champs and Foot Locker. Um, Adidas to me was like an old person brand at the time. I gotta admit that like as we got older, that was probably one of the biggest companies that had a resurgence and continue to stay on top. Like even personally for me, I think it's better than Nike now. Because I own a lot of like Adidas, especially like how I talked to you and Destin about having like those no tie pull on slip on Adidas
yeah.
with the cloud foam, super comfy shoes. This is not a paid advertisement, but like I love like Adidas shoes.
Don't get us wrong. If you
Um,
want to sponsor us, then by all
yeah,
means.
yeah, true. But yeah, man, like uh I think Adidas personally had one of the like most underrated um growth in like this past decade. And I don't know, I could be wrong because like again, I'm not a big brand type of guy, or like clothing brand type of guy. But I think Adidas had one of the most underrated growths. People might say, "What do you mean underrated? It's the biggest company. Shouldn't it be overrated?" I'm like, well, it kind of like came out of nowhere and became one of the top competing brands. I mean, to the point where they started competing with Nike on a dollar to dollar ratio of like sponsoring like top athletes.
Yeah, but I would also say too, Nike got cheaper in some regards, right? And not
Yeah.
necessarily the shoes or clothing, like that's still pricey. I'm not talking price tag, but cheaper as a material, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So like there's certain things that are still like decent quality, dry fit shirts and all that stuff. But there's a lot of their stuff where, like if you look, the biggest controversy this year was the Fanatics and Nike. And really it's Nike, but the jerseys for like baseball.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that was a
yeah,
big topic where it was like, oh my God, you can practically see through these pants.
yeah.
And like they were ripping and all that stuff. And the lettering on the back for names and numbers was tiny. And it's like, what the heck? This looks so bad.
Cheap. Yeah.
So granted, I mean, that's more of a Nike thing than it was a Fanatics thing, but it was,
Right.
but still, it's like they've gotten a lot cheaper and a lot of the materials and everything. It's like, but you expect to pay more, right? Because like
Yeah. Yeah.
I had I bought one of the Nike jerseys when they first did the switch over from Majestic for baseball. And they were okay. The jersey was good. They obviously were a little bit more than what Majestic was, but that's what it is on that. But like now, it's like the material's even cheaper. It looks worse, but now they're charging like $30 more. And I'm like, why the hell
Yeah.
would I pay for that? Give
Right.
me back the old stuff. Like
Right.
even last year's model of your Nike jersey was better than this. What is this?
Yeah.
Um, so I would say, yeah, yeah. In that regard, like I think Adidas is coming in stronger in terms of like backing certain things like colleges and all that stuff now, where
Yeah.
like historically where there'd be a lot of colleges like Miami, UW, whatever it is, that were Nike based
Yeah.
are now got a better deal and bigger sponsorship from Adidas.
Yeah.
So we see Adidas coming back stronger in a lot of those things, and, like cover athletes too. You know what I mean? So like Julio Rodriguez, one of the
Yeah.
biggest, stars on our team is he's an Adidas athlete.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's just one of those things. So like, I don't think Adidas ever went away because they were always one of the larger companies. But
Right. I see what you're
I would
saying.
say
Yeah.
like, but in terms of like style and stuff, the Adidas Superstar, which was made 1980s,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
mid big in the 1980s, the
Run
80s, I
DMC.
should say, by Run DMC.
Yeah.
They had their thing. They had the 80s, and then they had a little bit of our time in the late 90s, early 2000s, and then they came back last year, and now they're on to like the Adidas Campus, which is just a almost like a thicker skateboarding type of Adidas Superstar.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can describe it. It's not
I
like
haven't seen it
like
yet.
an etny or like a whatever the DKs or whatever those were, the DNK. I can't remember what those skateboard shoes were. I just remember
Uh
etny in my head, but there was the other DC.
Vans. Oh,
DC.
DC. Vans,
Um,
maybe.
Vans have always been pretty thin. I mean, they make the
Yeah.
super thick, cushiony ones, but like
Yeah.
those have usually been pretty thin, I would say.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I digress with that. The big companies, anyways.
Yeah.
But no, I would agree that like Champion, like they were just there. You know what I mean? They were just there in the background. They were considered one of those things like, oh, what the heck? When we would wear it when we were younger, we're like, you know, you got Champion on? What is that?
Yeah.
Would you go to your local Walmart? You know what I
I
mean?
know. All my sweats now are like Champion sweats. They're
Yeah,
so
I was gonna
comfortable.
say Champion
Yeah.
came back. I mean, when we were in
Yeah.
college, like I bought Champion sweatshirts because that's what the bookstore had. They didn't have like branded
Yeah, true.
Nike this, Nike
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? So
But
like,
you always contributed with like lower quality, like right when
yeah,
we go to our university bookstore and like they were selling like the jerseys and stuff like that, and it's like from Champion, you're like,
yeah,
I'll pass on it. I'll wait for the Nike version, you know?
yeah, exactly. But
Yeah.
now it's like no, it's up there again with just everything. It's in
Yeah.
everyone's like, oh, it's a throwback Champion jacket. I'm like, I don't think those have ever gone out of style. The Champion jackets. It was just the
Yeah.
rest of the clothing. But
Yeah.
hey, um, no shade, no shade. We were very judgmental in
Yeah.
middle school,
Oh
early,
yeah, hell yeah, dude.
all that stuff, man. That's just how it was back then.
Yeah.
If you weren't rocking FUBU and jeans that were 5 times your size, then
Yeah.
what were you even doing?
South Pole, dude.
Yeah, South Pole,
Sean John. I
John,
used to
John,
rock. Yeah.
golly.
I used to wear the like the outfits,
Oh yeah,
the matching jacket and track suits.
oh yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
dude, those are my favorite with
In
with
our
the
Tims.
white Air Forces. No, I had white Air Forces.
Yeah, I was gonna say Air Forces, the
Yeah, I
Tims,
never wore
all
Tim's.
that stuff. Well, no, Tims were
Yeah.
just too much for me. But
You remember ponies?
oh yeah, pony.
Ponies. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you couldn't afford or if you didn't want to um or if you couldn't afford another pair of like Air Forces to play basketball in, you would buy the cheaper ponies to rock on the court. And then
Oh
your Air
yeah,
Forces are just your penguin walk shoes
yeah.
because you don't
Oh,
want to
for
crease
sure.
them. Yeah, those are throwbacks. See, Gen Zs will never understand that.
Yeah, and that was
Yeah,
about the same time. Like Adidas Superstars started coming back too,
yeah,
in terms of like all their
yeah.
stuff.
I
So
had a pair of like Adidas, but not the Superstars. I
yeah,
remember. Yeah.
I feel like
Uh,
the Superstars were I think like seventh grade for me. It was middle school for sure.
yeah,
But we were still rocking Air Forces too. Air
yeah,
Forces might have been it skipped a little couple years and then went to high school straight up. But Jordans, all that was always a thing. Jordans have been a
yeah.
thing, still a thing.
I never
And
wore any
then
Jordans or owned any Jordans. So
yeah, and then Reebok, but Reebok is like really the only Reebok shoe that you think of is like Iverson's.
yeah.
Uh,
Um, were the Latrell Sprewells were those Reeboks with
I
the
can't remember
spinners?
with the spinners.
Yeah, dude, those are
Bro,
throwbacks.
yeah, that is a throwback. Y'all don't understand.
Yeah, but
Those.
all right. To before we get off track, though, to
Anyways, we
answer the
we are
question.
going down a rabbit hole and
Yeah,
digress.
I mean, we could get back to it because we're going to talk about this new trend of millennials and ankle socks thing that's popping up on
Oh
TikTok.
yeah,
But
yeah, for
but just
sure.
just to get rid of the first article topic and answer the questions because it's been like 5 minutes since our listeners are probably begging for the answer. The answer is Abercrombie and Fitch.
There you go. Pop your collars.
Yeah.
Pop the
Um,
collar because that's
I've never owned any Abercrombie and Fitch, but yeah, I always associate with like the like the super tight clothing, like the
yeah,
mediums, and then the collar pops,
yeah.
right?
I feel
Yeah,
like we all at least at one point had one of those Abercrombie shirts that was like, it was like the striped, like it was like that
yeah, like a
maroon,
polo, like a
the
polo.
maroon, the white, the maroon, the white, and then the popped collars. Oh
I
my,
think I may have like got it gifted for me, but I don't think I personally like had
yeah.
one in my
Oh
closet
yeah,
that I
no, for
was
sure.
that was in my rotation.
That was
You know?
definitely more of a gift thing for me. I did not
Yeah,
shop at Abercrombie and
yeah,
Fitch.
same. I never shopped it at.
I got a couple things from there because I was gifted because it was like one of those things like, oh, that's the style it's in. I'm like,
I'm not gonna lie. When I was a kid and it was Christmas time, and I got a gift from like the aunt and uncle that you don't see often, but like they still give you gifts, and
yeah,
it's like an Abercrombie polo stripe, with
yeah,
thick collars. I'm like, yeah, I ain't wearing this.
yeah. No, I hear.
Give me my give
Yeah,
me my Pokemon Yellow for my Game
yeah,
Boy.
yeah. Give me the Pokemon stuff.
Yeah,
I know. I was very much. I wasn't too much A and F person. I think I was more of an Aeropostale person.
I didn't do that either.
There was a time being where used to wear like the A87 cologne. There was a
Oh
very small period of time where I would spray that on. But
yeah, no, I was
yeah,
I would say even to today. I mean, I shop. I have different ways to shop for clothes now, but compared to those brands, I think I was more of an Old Navy type of guy.
yeah, yeah. I was
Yeah,
definitely
because their
Old
clothes
Navy.
were like less, out there, right?
Yeah.
Than
Well, yeah, because
Abercrombie
that's where
and
I
yeah,
was thinking along the lines of like, and when I said mall, because I was like, I feel like it has to be a mall thing.
yeah,
Like this was an A&F, Aeropostale,
yeah,
Express has kind of been around. American Eagle would have fit in that category.
yeah, yeah. I forgot about American Eagle.
Um,
American
Old
Eagle and
Navy,
Abercrombie and Fitch are like very similar to me.
yeah, they're all very similar.
Yeah,
Old Navy, I thought about, but I was like, no, they've been solid. So
yeah.
like
They've been
they've
very
been
solid.
solid. They've been solid just solely on their $5 flip flops. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Um,
Gap would have been another competitor, but
yeah,
then they're kind of still floating around, especially with their partnership with Kanye and
yeah,
which is I mean kind of dipped a little bit, but like they they still been kind of floating around,
yeah.
just
And I
like
was
Old
gonna say,
Navy.
and Forever 21 is still technically a thing, but how
Oh
you
no,
find anything in Forever 21 is beyond me, anyways. I don't.
I never thought considered Forever 21 as like male clothing store. It was always
No,
strictly
no.
female
It
for
was
me.
strictly female until they opened like the men's section. But even then, it was so small in those stores. It's like when Express and there was like Express Men. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay. So
yeah,
yeah, that was my thought process on that. It had to be
yeah.
in a mall or something because that's really the only clothing store that you can think of that
No, good guesses,
doesn't
man.
exist outside of the mall.
I knew it couldn't get past you, but yeah, good guesses.
That's what
Um,
I was thinking, anyways. I don't know. Well, apparently it was A&F. So
I mean, you did say it. It was one of your
yeah,
guests. Yeah.
yeah.
What's this thing going on? I see it on Instagram. Is this trend from like TikTok where like apparently ankle socks is contributed to millennials.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Side note: isn't Hollister technically an A&F brand?
oh yeah, yeah.
I just thought about that because I was thinking Abercrombie and Fitch, and then I was thinking, I'm like, oh yeah, the polo with like the little swimmer dude, and I was like, wait, wasn't that the bird? And I was like, wait, wasn't that Hollister technically?
Yeah, and then I feel like Hollister. Oh yeah, yeah. Look, I just looked it up. Abercrombie and Fitch actually owns Hollister, so yeah,
Hollister.
it's part
Oh,
of it.
okay. Oh, okay. So I'm sure Hollister had a small part in that.
Yeah,
Where you walk into these stores, it's dimly lit, and then you're getting
yeah,
sprayed every 2 minutes with cologne.
yeah.
Um,
Axe body
anyways,
spray.
anyways, yeah, just and they have a timer. It just sprays up in the corner, like in the bathroom where you have like
Yeah.
the deodorizer. But no, in those places, it's all the cologne. And I'm like, bro. Anyways, ankle socks. Yeah.
Yeah. I was never a fan of ankle socks because they always like ride down and like, you know,
Yeah, you got to find the good ones, man.
yeah. I don't think I ever found the good ones, but I'm at the age now where I just appreciate a good crew socks, you know?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I wear crew anyways. I wore crew.
Yeah.
I mean, I wore crew in college and high school when basketball shorts, crew socks, and
Yeah.
shoes. Like I didn't care. But I mean, I do like ankle socks. Don't get me wrong. I think they fit better than crew
Yeah.
socks in some instances. Um, so I don't know, but I do distinctively remember. Like I know there's memes and all the videos coming around. Like back then, it's like we didn't have ankle socks back then, or no show socks, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We had like technically low cut or ankle, but it wasn't like no show, which is really the no show thing is what people are, like, oh, that means you're old. But I distinctly remember because we like no show was the thing.
It
And
was the thing if you were like wearing like shorts, like cargo shorts, jean
yeah.
shorts, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like for
And
me,
you
I'm at the
better,
age now where like if I'm wearing shorts, it's specifically if I'm at a beach or pool type setting. Even if it's a hot weather day, there's so many like material now, like stretch fit slash um dry fit type pants where I'll still wear long pants, you know, during
yeah.
a hot weather day.
I am a short guy.
Yeah.
I am just that guy. I will wear shorts. I was that guy in college. I was that guy. You know, they
Yeah.
always say like you always have those friends that are like shorts no matter what the weather was. I'm like, yeah, that was me in college
Yeah.
for real.
No, I cover my
Um,
legs up now.
yeah, I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
I think I'm so used to wearing pants. Like, it's nice when I get to wear shorts. Like, I don't get to wear
Yeah.
shorts as much anymore. So I think every time I get an opportunity outside the house, I would say I put shorts on because like I'd rather do that. And now that I live in
Yeah.
California, right? It's like, you know, 86 out there right now, and it's
Yeah.
6 o'clock. And it's like, I'm not gonna wear jeans out there or even just pants at this point. It's too hot right now for me.
Dude, I'm heading to
Um,
Arizona this coming weekend. And
have fun.
I'm just looking at the weather, dude. I'm only going for the weekend for a friend's bachelor party.
What part?
And it's Phoenix.
Ah, yeah,
And
that'll be hot.
I'm just looking at the weather on the app, and it's just like red lines. I've never seen it before. And it's just like let me see. I know during the hottest part of the day, it's 100 degrees, but
That's
let me see what the
actually,
lowest
I
is.
was gonna say 100 degrees is actually nothing.
Oh, shit. Don't say
It's
that.
crazy. No, because I went there because Allie
Oh shit, I'm
graduated.
sorry. All right. So the highest is gonna be that Friday that I get in 112 degrees.
Yeah, that's about right.
And then yeah, the highest, and then Saturday, Sunday, 109, 108.
Yeah, yeah. When I was down there for Allie graduating last year, the highs were in like the high teens of 100. I
God.
think the highs were like 100 and 18. I will tell you, it will smack the shit out of you in the face as soon as you get out of the
Fuck, man.
airport
I'm
or whatever
scared.
whatever time it is. I'm not lying, right?
Yeah.
It's a different heat for sure. It is
This
it
is
is
my first time gonna
it
experience
is
the
a
southern
dry
heat.
heat. It is a dry
Yeah.
heat. It's not going to be the humid heat that we get. It's dry, so it's like you open the oven and you get smacked with it. Like that's
Yeah.
how you're going to feel when you step outside that
Ah,
airport. I
dude.
can tell you. It
Yeah.
took me a day to adjust to it when I first went
Yeah.
down there, and like I said, it like smacked me, and I'm like, Jesus, it's hard to breathe down here. It's just
Oh
so
my god,
dry.
dude. I
Um,
this is gonna be my first time experience the southern heat.
yeah, you get acclimated pretty quick. Like by
Yeah.
day two, because I was down there, I ended up being down there for like I think 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
I got over it pretty quick. I will say wear shorts. Do not wear pants.
Fuck. All right. Yeah. I gotta
No,
get
no,
some
no. I'm,
shorts.
I'm, I'm, saying- I'm being serious.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Because
That's why I'm like, fuck. Yeah,
you'll
you're
be
right.
sweating in every crevice. Let me tell you. At least that first day.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. After that though, like it is. There is something nice about being able to go out at like
Sorry.
who the hell knows what time 9 p.m., 10 p.m.,
Yeah.
have it still be like 90 degrees and be like, oh, this is nice. Because we would do
Yeah.
like our evening walks and stuff,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
just to kind of, close out our day. And it was like, oh,
Yeah.
it's kind of nice that I can just go outside at 10 p.m., walk around
Yeah.
a neighborhood in a tank top and be good.
Yeah.
Uh, just make sure to go to the pool too, man. Get some
Yeah.
sun.
So our Airbnb is right in the city, or at least, you know, 5-10 minute drive from the city, and it has a pool.
Nice.
That's what a lot of people say. Like, I was talking with a couple people who go to Arizona often, and they're like, if they're like, make sure your Airbnb has a pool, and then you
Yeah.
should be okay. And then I was
Oh
like,
yeah,
okay. I was like,
it's
okay, good.
a nice thing. It allows you
Yeah,
to kind of go out during the day.
yeah,
When you're in a place where they're just like it's so dead during the middle of the day because it's so fucking hot and everyone knows that they just stay inside. You're
yeah,
just like, oh shit, I'm not from around here because like even people at stores were like, you came out in this weather?
yeah.
Like,
Look at those idiots walking around.
yeah, look at those guys over there. Don't they know
Yeah,
their shoes are melting to the pavement?
fuck, dude. Okay, that's good. That's good advice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just stay hydrated. That's all I got to say.
Oh
It
yeah.
gets
No.
it gets warm. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that. But no, once you're down there for a couple days, it's actually not all that bad. You get used to it pretty quick.
Yeah.
Then you'll come back to 80 degrees in Washington. You'll be like, "Fuck, I'm cold."
Yeah. I mean, seriously though, like, leaving how cold Iceland was, I was like, man, I'm ready for the hot weather. And
Oh yeah,
I don't know
you'll
if I meant this hot of a weather.
yeah, you're going to an extreme here. You're going to the other
Yeah.
extreme.
Because right
Uh,
now, yeah, back in Washington, so when we got back home from Iceland, we got back in the afternoon here in Seattle, and it was like beautiful 80-degree weather. And it was like not even, it was perfect, right?
yeah,
Especially coming from a cold place, it just felt so inviting. And but now it's just been very like up and down, typical Seattle bipolar weather. Like we literally, the sun came out yesterday and then it
yeah,
poured in rain, and then it had like a crazy windstorm, like a gust storm. I'm like, what the fuck, are we still in Iceland? Like it was just like this strong gust of wind.
yeah. I heard y'all had hail the other day too.
Yep. It hailed for like, well, at least where I was, it hailed maybe like a good 1-2 minutes, and then it was done. Yeah. But it was like
That's
heavy
crazy.
hail, and we were like at a Walmart, and we just literally parked, and we saw sprinkles at first, got out of the car, and it just fucking hailed on us.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But that
saw
was it.
that.
That was like the only hailstorm we had. I don't know how it was in other places, but we definitely got hail.
Yeah. I heard a lot of people got hail, and I was just like, it's 90 down here. I can't say that I miss hail randomly in the middle of June.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like June. I'm like, oh shit, June.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'll keep you updated on that. I think that'll be a fun story. I'm only gone for 3 days. I'll be back before our episode next week. But yeah. But here's the last one. Speaking of the South, um, Luling, Texas, wherever the fuck that is. But we all know what a Bucky is. Well, you know what a Bucky is. I haven't been to a Bucky's yet,
yeah, yeah.
but everyone always speaks very highly of a Bucky's. But check this out, dude. Um, Luling, Texas, and Bucky's just broke the world record this past week, where they opened up the world's largest convenience store, which we're looking at about over 75,000 square feet plus 120 gas station pumps. Um, in comparison, so I had to do a little research because I'm like, okay, like how does this make it, like you got to define first what's a convenience store versus like a department store, right? Like because I had to look at like, okay, like what is this specifically looking at? And when we're talking about convenience store, we're thinking of like, the corner stores, right? Like the 7-Elevens, right? And
Yeah.
so in average across the country, I had to do a little research. The average convenience store is roughly 3,000 square feet in total. And in this Bucky's is 75,000 square feet. In comparison to a department store like a Walmart is about on average 185,000 square feet. So you're looking at about what 2/3 of a Walmart is a convenience store, or maybe half is a convenience store. Whatever the math is, do the math. Um, like I don't know, dude. Like you have a good experience of going to a Bucky's before. Like, what more can you provide to a larger convenience store like this?
I don't know, man. It is a very large. It's a large place.
Yeah,
It is. I mean, it's based. Yeah, I mean, it's a convenience store, but it's huge, right?
it's almost. I mean, like, do they sell clothes and stuff like that? Like, can you draw the line and say like, okay, this is not a convenience store anymore. This is strictly a department store.
Yeah, yeah, you could make that argument, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, because I was gonna say like, well, I
like a
mean, I
Fred
guess if they're
Meyer's, right?
selling that much clothes, huh?
Like a Fred Meyer's,
Yeah,
well, a lot
yeah,
of yeah.
yeah, kind of
Well,
like
that's a
that.
local thing. A lot of people don't know what a Fred Meyer's is outside of Washington.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Well, and because it's a, I mean, if you say Kroger,
Oh
they'll
yeah, yeah,
understand what it
yeah,
because
yeah.
Kroger is
Kroger.
nationwide, but
Yeah,
I mean, it's
Kroger is
just
the
one.
parent company. Yeah,
Yeah, it's the parent company. But so if you go to any store that's like a Kroger owned store, it is
yeah.
very familiar to like a Fred Meyer or even
KFC is specifically more.
you know,
That's I would say that's more like a convenience store. KFC,
KFC.
Safeway, right? Grocery store.
Those are more grocery store though. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like for a convenience store this big, you're bound to sell fresh produce. You know?
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. I mean, because was it? Well, no, Hagen is its own thing.
yeah. Hagen is not owned
Used
by
to
Kroger,
be,
but it's a grocery
used to
store.
be. I mean, it's similar. Used to own Albertsons before Albertsons, or no,
Was a standalone.
Hagen. What the parent organization to Hagen's was Albertsons, and then Albertsons bought out Safeway, or Safeway bought out Albertsons. Safeway bought out Albertsons.
I thought Hagen. No, Albertsons was trying to buy out Safeway.
Yeah, I can't remember.
All I know is that Hagen. No, are you sure Albertsons own Hagen? Because I thought at one point.
Albertsons used to own Hagen. Like
Yeah.
Albertsons was the parent company.
Because I thought Hagen was trying to buy out Albertsons, and then when they tried that, that's when they started going bankrupt. Yeah,
I
that's
think
how
they
I remember the
did.
story.
I
Yeah.
think yeah, so I think Albertsons was technically like I believe it was the parent company of Hagen. And then I think they branched. Um
Oh, you remember Top Foods?
yeah, Top Foods.
It was actually no, Hagen was his own parent company, but they owned Top Foods. And then they tried to purchase Albertsons and Safeway in
Right.
2014. I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, okay.
So no, they were their own company.
Hmm.
Yeah, damn, I forgot about Top Foods. I used to love Top Foods.
Yeah,
You
Top
remember that?
Foods was good. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. But I was gonna
I
say,
liked
hey,
Albertsons too. Like I felt like
yeah,
Albertsons was like a nice grocery store when I was younger.
yeah.
Wait, hold on. Let me see. Let me finish reading this real quick.
Well, because at one point I think Kroger was trying to buy out Hagen. Either
Oh,
way,
okay.
either way,
Here's
these
so
are all
here's what happened.
monopolies.
Yeah, no, here's what happened. Now that I'm reading it. So in 2014, Hagen was his own parent company from Washington, Bellingham specifically, and
Uh-huh.
they owned Top Foods. And in 2014, they wanted to expand, so they started buying a bunch of these other grocery stores that included Albertsons and Safeway.
Uh,
And then like a year later, they started getting bankruptcy because they filed a lawsuit against Albertson for like false representation. So basically, Albertsons like fucked them over when they bought him. Where and then a year after that, after Hagen filed bankruptcy, Albertsons turned around and bought them out. So that's why.
oh,
So currently, Albertsons does own Hagen, but before back in the day, Hagen was trying to buy Albertsons. Albertsons fucked them over, and then Albertsons bought them out. So that's what happened. So you're
interesting.
right. Albertsons does own them now, but back in the day when we were younger and we're hearing about this buying out, Hagen was his own company.
Hmm. Well, there
Yeah.
you go.
Yep. History 101 in state of Washington.
Yeah, now you
Grocery
know.
stores.
Now you
Yeah.
know. And
Yeah.
I'm sure Kroger tried to buy them both out at one
At
point.
some point. Kroger is
I'm
just a
sure,
huge ass
yeah,
monopoly.
they're so big now. I mean,
Yeah.
these monopolies are just, yeah.
Right.
I mean, this is why I usually don't even shop at Safeway anymore. I'll be
Dude, yeah,
completely
I don't
honest.
either, dude. I
I go
I only
to,
shop at Haggen because it's convenient. Um,
oh yeah,
but
because it's
most times,
convenience to
yeah.
you, yeah.
But I still
Um,
enjoy Fred Meyer's. I feel like yes, is owned by Kroger, but I feel
yeah,
like they're family owned like franchises. I feel like Fred Meyer's. Um,
yeah, mostly. I mean, they're and
yeah,
they're fairly small because I mean, it's really only the Pacific Northwest that has them.
yeah.
Um,
Um,
Washington
Winco, I
and
still
like
shop at. You know,
Winco, yeah, Winco's
yeah.
down here too.
I
Trader Joe's
still.
is where I go all the
Oh yeah,
time.
yeah. Oh yeah. Of course, Trader
Like Trader
Joe's
Joe's,
is number one.
yeah, between Trader Joe's and Costco, those are really the only two
Yeah,
stores I go to.
yeah. I don't know, man. This.
Rarely do I go to like Whole Foods anymore,
Oh
but
yeah, yeah.
um,
I don't know, man.
but I
When this
mean,
fucking Bucky's come up here.
I know, right? They're getting one. They're starting to expand more and more. You know, it's just like In and Out or even Voodoo Donuts. You know, everything's starting to expand a little bit,
Yeah,
which is you know good for some things, but I think it's kind of bad at the same time because then it kind of takes away like that
the
uniqueness
charm.
of the
Yeah.
brand and the charm. So
Like I used to love driving to Oregon and making sure we stopped by
Voodoo Donuts.
no, I still hate Voodoo Donuts. I think Voodoo Donuts is overrated. No,
It
what's
is
the
overrated. Don't get me wrong, it's overrated for sure.
yeah, what's
But
their
their cereal donut, oof.
nah, nah.
You talking about
What's their
Powell's?
no, their coffee shop.
What, Dutch Bros?
Dutch Bros.
Yeah,
Like
it's everywhere now.
remember yeah, it's everywhere now. That's what I'm saying. But like there used to be a charm about only going to Dutch Bros in Oregon.
Yeah,
And then now it's like everywhere and it's like, whatever. I'll
yeah,
go to Dutch Bros if I desperately need coffee and I just happen to be in the vicinity. Because other than that, I would just rather go to like my usual, coffee stand that I go to, or God forbid, Starbucks because it's there. Um,
yeah.
yeah. But Dutch
Starbucks
Bros
got a
is very
good.
good though. Like, don't get me wrong,
No, yeah, I
it's
love
very
Dutch
good.
Bros.
But it's like so far and in between from where you are. It's like it loses its charm, so you don't go out of your way to go to it anymore unless
Yeah,
like you used to when you were in Oregon. But now that's like everywhere, it's like eh, if I had those specific two cravings at that specific moment where I need coffee and I just happen to be driving by Dutch Bros, I'm stopping at a Dutch Bros. But if I'm having a craving and I'm far away from Dutch Bros, I'm like, fuck it. Starbucks it is. Fuck it. My local coffee stand. Or shit, fuck it. I'm just gonna make my own coffee. Just like
yeah. I know that's
yeah,
pretty much what I do now. I mean, I do go to Starbucks because that's really the only thing that's around me if
yeah,
I want to go
yeah.
quick. They did introduce something that was like quickly and easy on the go for the morning though.
What's that?
Um, they started doing breakfast bundles this
Oh,
past week.
Starbucks?
Yeah, Starbucks.
Huh.
So you can get a tall cup of coffee and a breakfast sandwich for $6.
What the fuck is this? McDonald's now?
I know, right? But I was like, oh, I'll try it. And I tried it and it was like $6 flat, like even.
Oh wow.
Like it wasn't even taxed. I was like, oh shit, I got a
Like
breakfast sandwich.
even Starbucks, like even a basic Americano, grande Americano is like $6.
Yeah. So I
So that's
mean,
a pretty
like,
good
because
deal.
I know a tall coffee, because I used to get those when I worked at UW. It's like just a
Yeah,
tall drip coffee was
I know.
three bucks.
Tell me why,
Um,
as I get older, uh, I don't know about caffeine content or whatever, but like just the taste of drip coffee tastes so much better.
oh yeah, for sure.
Especially if it's good coffee beans. Like
Yeah.
you can tell the difference between a good drip.
Oh, for sure. For
Yeah,
sure. That's why I'm
yeah,
a coffee snob, man. I go to these nice little diners and all this stuff to try new places around here to
yeah,
eat.
yeah,
I'm like, oh, I'll try a cup of coffee. It's
yeah.
like the worst. It's the worst.
Folgers.
It's like Folgers or
Yeah.
watered
Okay,
down.
I know we're joking, but
Folgers is
Folgers has
actually
a
a
good
decent
smell. Yeah,
coffee.
it is actually pretty decent.
It's a decent coffee, but it's
Yeah.
it's how they make it at the
Yes,
at the
exactly.
diners. It's
Exactly.
it's so watered down. I'm just like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm just drinking brown water at this
Yeah.
point. Which I mean, which is essentially what coffee is anyways. It's brown water. But
Yeah.
if it's brewed right, yeah.
Exactly. That's why I specifically stick to dark roast.
Mm.
I know a lot of people say that the caffeine content isn't the highest when it's a dark roast. However, the dark roast is when you get the the smell and the flavor better. Right? And then because like for me, light roast is very bitter
Oh yeah,
and
it's
like
bitter and it has
very
more
sour, bitter.
caffeine. Yeah.
Right. And for me, if I enjoy drip because it's like a I want to enjoy the flavor of the beans. I know it's roasted. Dark roast means it's burnt and scarred, but like it just tastes better. Like I just want to taste the thing. And with light roast, it's just gives me heartburn, dude. It's just because it's so bitter, you know. And so I prefer dark roast. My compromise is medium, but I prefer dark roast because I just want to enjoy the flavor. Because you know I don't put cream and sugar, so
Yeah.
that's why like if I want black drip coffee, give me dark roast so I can like enjoy the aroma of it.
Yeah. I know. I've gotten used to
Yeah,
drinking blonde roast just because it's a little bit more caffeine content in it.
yeah,
Not that
yeah,
I necessarily need it, but I just like the
yeah,
taste of it. So,
yeah.
but yeah,
All right, man.
I know.
Well,
Crazy.
that's all I got for today. Any final thoughts before we wrap it up and call it good night?
I guess for the Seattle-based listeners, I don't know if anyone saw or anyone cares about soccer or football, however you want to call it. I know the Sounders, the Seattle Sounders ownership group bought the Reign.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Or I saw
So
you posted that. I didn't
yeah,
really
yeah.
look into
So
it.
yeah, so it's final thing,
That's
final
big.
sale.
Yeah.
So that means they're staying in Seattle for good.
Oh, I didn't know that they were proposed to be sold.
Well, well, they were being sold. It was more just like because like the OL group from France bought them, like
Oh, I see.
Olympic
I see.
Lyon,
Yeah.
which was cool because it was like, oh shit, like they wanted to purchase an American team, which was kind of a big thing for a couple years. And we did get to which opened the door for some of the like the OL players to come over and play on the
Yeah.
team, which was kind of cool. Because when the hell else was I going to see some of these superstars from France come over and play in the U.S.?
Yeah.
But you know, it ultimately didn't work out. We wanted to go in different directions, and they were like, "Nah, we're going to sell the team."
Yeah.
Which you know, whatever, that's fine. I think the women's game is growing, obviously, all over the place. Not even just soccer, obviously, but
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I thought it was cool that the Sounders ownership group purchased them, and now they're in Seattle to stay, and
There you go.
it's pretty cool. So go support your
Yeah.
women's soccer teams, women's sports in general. Go support them.
Caitlin Clark. No, just
Yeah.
kidding. I mean, yes, I'm not kidding. But all right,
Yeah.
man. Well, thanks for that quick update. Other than that, let's end it with our favorite saying: keep talking with each other, keep thinking together, and keep growing together. And we'll see y'all next time.